Hi, so this is my story time about working for Ally. I'm going to give you the 5 positive and 5 negative. This is not to discourage anybody from working there. I was at a site in Texas. This is just like my experience and a lot of other people's experiences. So I'm going to start with the positive. If you have a good boss, they give you a lot of hours. I wrote it down because I'm like scatterbrained. The job itself is self-explanatory. On holidays, they give you double pay. Some of the co-workers are really trustworthy, and the boss, they have a great chance that you can move up if you're going to school. Notify them if you're going to school because they could move you up. Okay, so now we're on to the bad things. It is misleading. They have a high turnover rate. Sometimes they don't care about employees. Like, say, for instance, if you have a doctor's appointment or if you have kids and stuff, sometimes they don't care. Lack of communication with the supervisors on site and the supervisors in the office. They don't communicate with each other to the last minute, so we're all running around with chickens with our heads cut off. The last boss I had, and we're gonna call him, what are we gonna call him? I don't know what we're gonna call him. We're gonna call him Antenna. So Janie was the first boss. She was awesome to work with. She helped you if you needed help. She was straightforward with you. The person that ended up training me tried to show me shortcuts, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. So the day when Janie came back and asked me stuff, she was optimistic about it. She said, hey, I just want to watch what you're doing and stuff, because she put me at Field Island. And there was this girl there, Rachel. Everyone would talk bad about her. And I was optimistic. I said, let me give it a chance and stuff. Rachel would say that I didn't really know what I'm doing. But at the same time, she's the one who was training me, telling me how to do things. So I was just listening to her. There was an incident where she would tell me, hey, this guy wants to come in, but it's your call. So she went back and told Rachel that I said, I don't care if I get written up. It's my first time. I guess I'm just going to let him in. And that is not how the conversation went. And I said, Janie, I don't want to get up one time, even if it would be my first time. And she's like, I understand. That makes sense. She knew what made sense. She knew what didn't. She knows her characters and people. So Rachel would just try to give me a feel and stuff. She said, hey, there's this guy that calls to look over us. His name is Trevor. Trevor wrote me up. But girl, don't worry about it. Just go to the bar with him and y'all will be good. I said, I'm not going to the bar with anyone, Rachel. I'm not going to do whatever just to make him okay. Because he would call like 13 times a day. And it would get to the point to where it was a little bit harassing. And I'd be like, yes, Trevor, did you do this? Did you do that? And he would be texting her and say, hey, tell Wilson to get off her phone. And she'd go, Trevor said, get off your phone. And she's on her phone, just like, this is crazy. This is insane. I don't want to work over here no more. Can you just not make me work over here with Rachel no more, Janie? Like, if all else fails, I'll work if needed, but please don't. And she was like, I understand. So then I had to work with her a few more times. Rachel and me bonded because we both like country music. And we talked about like a lot of different things. And we had kids. She had 6 kids, 6 or 7, and I had 3. So we bonded over that. She told me at one point she had a boyfriend, then it went to a husband, then it went to a boyfriend. She couldn't keep up with her lies, but that doesn't matter. Who cares? So she got to the point to where she would talk to me about personal things, and she was like, my 15-year-old daughter is dating this 18-year-old, and I was like, well, I would tell my husband about that. And she was like, my boyfriend's not always there. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought you said you had a husband, whatever. This is getting weird. And then she would tell me, my kids are half white, half black. My kids are half Mexican, half white. They get mad when I say the N-word, but she would say it with an ER. And she was saying it. I was like, this girl is crazy. And she's like, my kids are bothered and stuff. And I said, well, I just wouldn't say that. Like, if that bothers your kids, I really just wouldn't say that. I'm trying to give her, like, motherly advice and stuff. Like, sometimes, like, my kids, they used to get mad when I would do little things like out of nowhere, because I do it because I'm, like, bored. And I'd be like, stop! And I'm like, okay. And then I'd stop. So I get it when you say annoying things. I'm not like trying to compare it, but yeah, that's my definition. Well, anyways, um, after that, Rachel was on her phone and she was like, "Hey, Wilson, come over here." And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Here, show me where your address is on my phone." That's not normal. You know, normal people usually ask, "What's your telephone number?" She put me on a spot, so I typed in like Parent Vital, like an HEB close by, and she goes, "I'm 4 minutes from there." I was like, "Lucky." I don't know what to say. I don't want to talk to her. Like, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, we're just beginning. I can't keep on going to the restroom. She's not gonna stop. So, I gave in. We started talking and just like different things, going to like Cowboys, and she was telling me about some girl that used to work there, and she was like, "She's such a whore," and that was my best friend. And I'm just like, wow, well, I wouldn't be really saying that if that was somebody's like best friend. Like, you know, you got a different meaning of what a best friend is, because that's not what best friends say about each other. So she said the girl ended up getting fired. A lot of people said that she got her fired. Rachel said that she got herself fired. I'm a big believer. No one can get you fired but you. At the end of the day, only you could get you fired. So moving forward, Rachel will be calling, harassing me, saying, "You missed this, you missed that," because I guess she was salty because I didn't work with her no more. I don't know. Anyways, Janie ended up not being there no more. So Antana started working, and he had experienced 5 years just working like a regular security officer. And he would patrol around in the car. So Antana would be harassing girls, saying, "Would you go out with me?" and stuff. And some girls would be sitting there like talking to me, almost literally in tears. And they talked to me and confided in me, and I was like, "This is not cool." He was like, "What should I do? Should I And I was like, do whatever makes you feel comfortable, but be very careful, because the higher up boss, when he hired me, he was really nice. Like, I could actually say that about him, regardless of what Rachel said. And she said that his wife called cussing her out and stuff, and they had relations and stuff. Regardless of that, there's two sides to every story. For me, he was like, when I first met him, he was like, "I don't want to know about your past history or work. I want to know about you." And I was sitting there all night preparing what to say. And then I was like, "I like long walks from the beach." I just felt so scared. And I was like, I don't know. But yeah. So after that, he became like a little bit weird, because I don't know if it went back to him. I don't know what happened, but I just like confided in like my boss and, whatever. So anyways, Antana was harassing girls. There was an incident that happened with me where he came in. And before that, there was this other guy. His name was, we're going to say Jesse and Phil. Phil was this bum. He's dirty, filthy, and Jesse would be nice and let him stay with him. So Phil would just hate the world. He was mad at everything. And I work with Phil, and I said, "Don't be so hard on yourself." He said, "They don't give a F about us. F this job. They don't care about us." And I said, "Well, don't look at it that way." I said, "Look at it like this is going to be an experience for you, and you just never know." And then he would be slamming doors, hitting keyboards mad because they interrupted him from being on YouTube. And I said, "Phil, that scared me. Stop doing that." And then it came back as I looked belligerent, but if you would have reviewed the camera, you would have seen like him slamming stuff, pushing open doors, mad at them, abusing the truck drivers. One guy was not playing with him and gave him a taste of his own medicine. And he was like, so he knew better than to mess with certain people. And after that, I was like, I just don't, these people are like mad and insane. They're going to drive me crazy. And I have like really bad depression and anxiety. So after that, there was a new guy that they had brought on, and we're going to call him Cody. Cody was creepy. When I first met him, I tried to teach him how to do everything, and he's trying to tell me how to do everything. And I'm just like, and he's like, "Oh, you're right." I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I know. So whatever. So after that, there was an incident where this girl, she got up from her seat, and he was like, "She's so hot, I would have loved to sniff the seat after her." And I was like, freaking pervert, thinking to myself. And I'm like, why do I gotta work with him? And then he'd be like, "Hey, Wilson, come here, I want to ask you something. This girl that I'm with, she has a kid, and I'm talking to another girl, and he would just tell me this stuff, like this crazy, horrible stuff. Anyways, so he told me to come here, and then I was like, yeah. And then he showed me his phone. I don't know what he was going to show me. He was like, does it look like my penis is big? I told Antana, and then Antana got the guy fired. I just tried to say I didn't want to work with him, and Antana kept on pushing it out. He said, well, why? I said, I just think it'd be better if I go change spots right now. Like, I just think it'd be better. And then he kept on asking me why, and I said, I don't know, there's just inappropriate stuff, and I just have anxiety and stuff. Maybe it's not a good fit and stuff, and I was trying my best, and then Antana was like, no, you just need to tell me. And then he fired him on the spot, and then he went around telling people, because a lot of my associates would tell me that Antana would be like, hey, be careful of Wilson, she doesn't play. You're supposed to be higher up. I'm supposed to confide in you. Wait, I forgot, you're a creep. So that's why you're saying this, because, you firing him broke you to your heart and stuff. And it's like, he got that out of me. He twisted everything. And then a lot of people were saying, Antana is like, he's changing, he's acting different, he's a liar. I don't know, because I didn't know him before then. So that was just like all the drama and stuff. It was really unprofessional. There was an incident where I was taking new medication and they knew it, and I dozed off, and then the big boss wanted to like try to fire me, but they knew I was taking different medication. And I could understand, because nobody wants to have somebody there that knows about his dirty secret. That's understandable. But it just sucked, because like, that's my livelihood, this is your livelihood. It just sucks. I'm like, you don't really know what happened. It's none of my business. I don't care. But it's like, it's coming to you a different way. I get it. But that's just not what happened. So the guy that took a picture and stuff, he was saying, oh, this is normal routine and stuff. It's not normal, really, routine. They have this conspiracy that everybody would say that when you're the only one working at this certain gate that would try to fire you and stuff, just be careful. And he was taking a picture of me, and he was like, you're going to be the next Playboy bunny. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is he going to do with this picture? This sucks. Like, like, it just really sucked. I ended up leaving because I was like, this is too unprofessional for me. This is driving me crazy. There would be people on my social media saying, hey, calling the gate. And I'm thinking that it's going to be somebody like a truck driver or something. And they're like, hey, I just want you to know you're really beautiful. And I'm saying, is this real life happening right now? Like, only weird stuff, crazy stuff happens to me. And they're like, I just want you to know that somebody is going to try to get you fired because like, they don't like it that you have live videos and stuff. And I was like, that has nothing to do with the job and stuff. And like, I'm doing my job. That's weird. And so again, he tried to get me in trouble, and he was like, well, you can't have different color hair. Remind you, Rachel had red hair. So it's like they were picking and choosing and stuff. And then they said, oh, well, you have to have natural looking colors from now on. And I'm just like, this is like ridiculous, but whatever. And they kept on, they would always call me when I was in the middle of something. After the incident with Antana, he was like rubbing my shoulders. He was like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And I have very bad anxiety. I don't like being touched. And I was like, moving him off. He said, it seems like me and you are not seeing eye to eye, Wilson. And I'm thinking to myself, no, but I would like you to leave the guard shack. Because I'm not, like, my anxiety was up then. I'm not going to, like, it was up. And he went to the office and he didn't say everything that happened. So my thing is, like, really tell the truth of what really happened. And I think anybody would be like that. If you nudge me or, like, do this shoulder or something, okay. But you don't have to touch me to get your point across or whatever. And like, I'm not going to scratch your back. You scratch my back. I don't know what you're insinuating, but whatever it is, it's not going to work over here, And I didn't like that he just like thought he was just somebody that could just do whatever. And that's really abusive, especially having kids, especially feeling really like happy that I have this job. It was it was a wonderful job. Like, it really was. If we had the same like supervisor, if all of that stuff that wasn't supposed to be taking place wasn't going on, it's a good job. I could recommend, staying to yourself. And that's really what I did. I got to the point to where people no longer really liked me because he felt like, who is it? Phil felt like he couldn't get rides for me no more. And he felt like I can't sleep with her, and that was his objective. And it was just sucks, like, because like I don't know why you would think that I even have time for something like that. That's just like ugh. And he was young, smelly kid. There were some good workers there. There would be some that would just talk to me because like I was trying to get my first house and whatnot. And they were just telling me about different areas. They worked really hard. They got promoted. And those are the type of people that you want to associate with, with. But unfortunately, those were morning shift people and I was working night. So I would only talk to them a few minutes and stuff. And there were still people that I kept in contact with, and they're awesome. I'd be trying to help and stuff. There are sometimes like people that really just couldn't be doing certain work. They shouldn't have them doing that. They should have been able to accommodate them. They didn't. So I'd be like, no, you do this. I'm going to do this. Come on, we got this and stuff. There'd be times where I'm like, I got you if you want like lunch or anything or whatever you want to say. It's dinner because it's nighttime. I got you. When I first worked there, there was this girl. Her name was Benuf. Benuf was like, I don't like working with new people. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't like working with raggedy, dusty people. Who do you think you're talking to? And then the thing is, she would be going into the truck drivers' cars for like 30 minutes and stuff. That was like a lot going around. She would always be smoking weed and stuff. And I'd be like trying to move it away because I'm not a smoker. And I'm just like, I don't know why they kept her this long. She'd be coming to work with her stuff not uniform, not ironed, not done. Not looking presentable. Her hair would be crazy. And then she had her cousin working there, and her cousin didn't know the backstory behind why I didn't really associate myself with her. And it was really because she was rude, but I get it. You're defending your cousin and stuff, but don't come to the job unprofessional. I just left it alone. I was more so like, I'm just not going to fool with her. Like she's hella weird. She had an issue with pretty girls and stuff. There was this one really pretty girl. She just couldn't get along with her. And a lot of people didn't like her. She would come in and just be like I've always been raised that when you come into a room, you speak. I don't care if I don't like you. I speak, I say, hey. And then she got to the point to where she would be saying hey to me, just hey, whatever. And that's it. I don't want to know everything about you. I honestly, just don't. Just be polite. Hey, this is what we're doing. Show me this and I'll show you that. And that's just it. And that's the sucky thing about you can't control who they hire, because depending on where you work really could make or break you. There are some sites where you really are securing and stuff and you're not trapped in a room with someone. And then with Trevor, the phone guy that would be harassing people, when you go outside and try to secure an area, they'd be like, get out, get back inside. It's dangerous. 1, you are not my dad. 2, that is my job. 3, why are you watching that much? First, you don't want someone, and I don't want to go to sleep, so I'm trying to walk around and stuff. So it was just like a disaster. That's just my experience. Everybody could have a different experience. I'm not saying don't work for them, but it was definitely a lot to deal with, a lot to handle. If you're one of those people that you could have disregard bullshit and stuff and you just don't care, I say go for it. They had good things. The manager I had at first, she was a dream manager. She was funny. When I say she was really funny, she was really sarcastic and really funny, and just she did her job well, and she would never throw you under the bus and stuff. You just had to be honest. I was really one of those employees. I just want to work. I don't care what you're doing. There'd be people in there. That one, there was this one girl, I forgot what I said her name was. I forgot. But anyways, she would be going out to the trucks and stuff and going in there, like some trucks have bedrooms and stuff. And I didn't even know that. And she would be going in there with them for a while, and you'd be wondering what the heck is she doing. And I tried to look at it positive, not like everybody else. I was like, well, maybe she knows that person, maybe it's a family reunion in there, It was just so weird. And then she was trying to look up my real name and stuff, and I'm just like, why is she doing that? Like, it doesn't bother me, but it's just like, I wonder why. Like, weird. But that's my story time about working at Ally Universal as a security officer. There are really, really, really good things and stuff, but you know, depending on who you're working for, it could be really, really bad. They had a high turnover rate, but then they'll give you hours. You get paid. Also, you get weekly pay. And if you have direct deposit, you get it earlier than everybody else. But that's my story time. Bye.